Hello, fellow warriors against consensus reality, lovers of truth, wisdom, the esoteric path, slayers of true-faced hypocritical gobshites, lovers of irreverence, sarcasm, and taking the piss out of anybody who takes themselves too seriously. Yeah, I thought it was time for a video. I seem to be on a bit of a roll lately. But yeah, it's a nice quiet Saturday morning. The flood rains have finally stopped. So and there's predominantly blue sky today, which of course also means that the humidity would be absolutely fucking disgusting. But it also means I'll be able to get out there and enjoy a cafe session for the first time in days. So that's a win-win situation, I think. And of course, my thought is, how many butthurt, entitled, full of themselves modern females can I piss off today? See, when you've been a monk for at least 14 years now, you actually entertain these kind of ideas without really giving a fuck about what anyone thinks. And you are diametrically opposed to the typical modern simping man. Okay? And like I said, ladies, there is no chivalry for you. Chivalry was the knight's code of conduct in the medieval times. It had nothing to do with treating women and putting the mucousy hole on a pedestal. Okay? Just remember, it's the same kind of mucus that comes out of your nose. Think about that for a second. And you know, all those guys that you see which disgust you to the nth degree, who are worshipping at the altar of the great golden vagina, right? I'm sorry, but that's not the way we do things around here. And you want to get on the bus first? Make sure you're the one that's been waiting there longest. That's how it works. But enough of that for now. It's kind of funny when you talk to people who make videos on YouTube, and so many people, most people, if not all, almost all, they have these pages of script, you know, so they release these perfectly scripted videos, whatever, cold calculated, using code words because they don't want to offend the monetization gods, right? Effiness, really, you sound fucking ridiculous. Bedroom fun, for fuck's sake, as my lovely Geordie mates would say. For fuck's sake. Right? I had a customer where I used to work, a lovely Geordie lady. She actually tried to teach me the Geordie accent. I couldn't do it. It would take some Rocky Balboa level training to do it. The Scottish voice, well, I was living next to a Scottish family for 32 years, and I believe they were from Glasgow. It's kind of funny. There's a mall security guard who's of Scottish background, born here, but you know. And when I did the voice for him, he goes, "Yeah, you sound like you're from Glasgow." I go, "Well, that's where my neighbours were from." And apparently from the same general area Billy Connolly's from. So when I'm annoyed enough and I do the voice, I sound like Billy Connolly, which is not a bad thing. Irish voice, yeah, getting there, but when you're used to rolling your R so much, it's kind of difficult to master the Irish lilt. Except when you're telling people to stop being a fucking gobshite. But there it is. Yeah, it's thinking of the bombardment of fear and negativity that we've experienced, especially for full on for the last 2 years. Fuck. And importantly, the effect it has on people. I think that's the main issue. That's if there's a takeaway for all this bullshit that we've seen for the last since March 2020. I think that's the takeaway. The effect it's had on people's mental health. And when, like many of us, you have existing mental health challenges every single day of your life, to begin with, you can well imagine. But what you do is very importantly, as I keep saying, I do keep saying this, and I will keep saying it until it sinks in, is to disconnect from the propaganda machine as much as you humanly can. For example, today, when I woke up, I was still lying in bed, half awake, half asleep, as you do, and I thought, you know what, fuck this. I didn't pick up the tablet. I actually put on some music, and that actually made a noticeable difference. So there was a level of levity and frivolity which wasn't really there yesterday. Yesterday was more, it was more late 70s punk rock level angst, right? And that's never good for your own peace of mind. And it makes for entertaining ranty videos, certainly, but for your own peace of mind, it doesn't really, it takes a while to get rid of. And so I think reading and picking up a book or getting Spotify going. Yes, I know, fuck you, Neil Young. Funny thing is, I didn't really give a fuck about Joe Rogan to begin with, but anyway. Yeah, so first of all, the first step is to disconnect from the propaganda machine. Very important, because it will affect your state of mind. The constant barrage of negative, malevolent shite really does affect your state of mind and your mental and emotional equilibrium, right? And living in a challenging time as it is, I mean, they basically want us to be living in a little box, receiving a pathetic amount of money from them and not having any sources of income of our own. That's their eventual goal. That's part of the Great Reset. That's part of their Agenda 2030. They want us all living in quote-unquote smart cities, away from the land, away from our all-important connection to the land, away from farming and all that kind of stuff. They want us living in smart cities, in little boxes where we won't own anything, but we'll be happy, right? No, I'll be happy when you people and you sadistic cunts leave me the fuck alone, and when I'm as self-sufficient as I possibly humanly can be eventually, right? And if I get off my lazy backside and actually get around to start writing my books, well, and hopefully they do well enough, there it is. If and when that happens, I suppose I can use my pen name. Yeah, I could use my pen name, I suppose. I use my pen name from my alternative Facebook account anyway. But there it is. And hopefully I can live somewhere rural, remote rural Ireland, or rural Bavaria. That would be awesome. Either of those two places would be great. And considering I can more easily attain a European passport than an Australian one, well, there you go. And but yeah, with this issue, disconnecting from the propaganda machine first. Put down your phone. Don't pick it up every fucking 2 minutes, right? When you've got, like, say, Netflix going with the intent of watching something specific, keep the phone down and focus on the show you're watching. All right. Go out somewhere. If you're living in a place where you've got a balcony, you know, you've got a veranda or whatever, you've got seating area. Get out there. Read a book. Read something. Or do as I occasionally do and get out a chessboard and replay some of the greatest games ever played. I always find that fun and a nifty way of keeping the mental faculties sharp. There was an old Serbian man that I knew from the glory days of the old mall chessboard. He died 2 or 3 years ago now, I'd say. But he was in his early 90s when he died. He would have been 92, 93 when he died of some kind of physical ailment. But he died being in full control of all his mental faculties. No Alzheimer's, no dementia, none of that. His secret, well, since retirement in the mid-80s, he spent his time playing chess at the mall chessboard every single day. We called him Father Christmas because he had a long white beard, and he kind of had this perpetual "get off my lawn" skull on his face, which we found entertaining. Markovich, his name was, long dead now, but our mutual friend told me the details around the man's death. He was in full control of all his mental faculties right to the very end, and that's fucking inspiring. In this day of Alzheimer's and dementia, that's fucking inspiring. Because what happens in most cases, when people retire, when their children grow up and they have their own lives, and so they no longer have children to look after, in my mother's case especially, when their reason for getting up every morning is taken away, and they don't have anything to replace it, i.e. they just sit in front of the TV most of the days, that's not very, very healthy, and that's usually a hotbed for the development of such things as dementia, which is really sad to see in people who are once so full of life and vibrant. Those of you who have dealt with that with elderly parents know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not fun. But when I woke up this morning and I did just that, and that thought occurred to me very strongly. We all need to stop taking in all this bullshit. We need to stop focusing on what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia and blah 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 blah. No, what you're meant to be doing is focusing on your own life in your immediate community area where you find yourself. What's your local neighborhood? What's your local town area doing? That's what you focus on. That's what we used to do in the old days, before information was available at the click of a button on your smartphone, which it's had more detrimental effects than positive effects. People say, oh, it's enabled us to communicate to people on the other side of the world, but we don't communicate. We talk in silly emojis now. Where OK is just the letter K, right? People don't read anymore. People don't take in the literature and the mythology and all these wonderful things that we used to anymore. And now's the time. Now's the time to disconnect from the purposely created malevolent chaos, fear-mongering, because they conquer through fear. Don't make me do my Yoda spiel, please. Fear leads to blah 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 blah. You know it by now. It's true. It's true. Fear is the key. Fear is a foundation. And so when you cut out the flow of fear, when you go cold turkey, it'll suck for a while, but the more you do it, the better off it'll be for you. Hell, when you wake up, and it's those kind of days where you just wake up exhausted, meditate for like 20-30 minutes before you actually get up out of bed, right? Like I said, put on some music. Watch something funny if you're in your own room and you've got breakfast and you want to watch something. Watch something fun, and preferably not woke, which is an increasing challenge these days. And with the above mentioned issues that many of us go through, and with the added issues of living in 2022, you don't try to spend all your time escaping from the negativity, or you might have depression or anxiety or fuck knows what else people go through. No, you actually face them full on, and you embrace them, and you use them as fuel for your own transformation, one step at a fucking time. That's how you do it. Because we have the power to create whatever life we fucking want for ourselves within our life patterns and karmic patterns. You can't just say, okay, I want to sprout wings and fly. No, it doesn't work like that. It's got to be within the bounds of reality. Yeah, sorry, Rhonda Byrne in The Secret. For fuck's sake. But disconnect from it. Unless you're actually living in Russia or the Ukraine or whatever, it's got nothing to do with you. It's all a purposely created game. With every world event that we're being told through the propaganda machine, bear in mind there's always something else going on behind and beyond what we're being told. Alright, always. That's always the case. So bear in mind all that, and thank you to all the guys that engage in the comments. You're fucking legends. And welcome back those guys who haven't commented in a while. You're fucking legends too. I would much have 29 real views and all the wonderful comments than be, say, the critical drinker and having to be mindful of every fucking word I say, and I need to use these little puffy, pathetic, cringeworthy code words because I don't want to offend the monetization guys. Fuck that. I'm glad my channel is small. I can say whatever the fuck I want, and there really isn't a thing they can do about it because I've got 1,001 alts, and I could just go to Odyssey, which I do have my Riff Muggles account there. So they can go boil their heads. And don't take everything so seriously. Try to find the humour in everything. That's how you conquer all the fear-mongering bullshit, alright? To speak the truth is a lonely path. The sarcastic, irreverent, gobshite-slaying, heathen hammer-wielding lone wolf on guitar, 8.